Ladies, gentlemen, welcome to a capsule selection. Today we're going to dive into a list of fragrances that I truly love during the autumnal season. That is the leather accord, and for me, as with many of you, I am sure the leather accord is one that's so captivating and enthralling. It's such an alluring and appealing style of fragrance making that all of us has come to clamor to some type of leather fragrance in our lifetime. If not covertly or overtly leathery, it's somewhat of a suede note or somewhere in that realm of sexual, sensual styles, the way leathers come off. And so for me, I want to introduce you guys to about 7 or 8 fragrances today in this list that are going to give you a compelling reason to go pick up a leather fragrance. For me, these are all tried and true when it comes to sexuality, allure, sensuality. These are fragrances that really captivate the opposite sex. Really, it's amazing how some of these fragrances can do. As I stated, I got a few here that have come on the channel quite some time, but what I'm going to do with this particular style of list, I'm going to end cap them with 2 fragrances from a house that you're going to be intrigued by to kind of see where the house deviates on the leather accords and what you can do to choose what you like in that particular house. So if this sounds like the type of content you think that you'll enjoy, pull up a seat, pour a glass, and of course, let's enhance. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dry Down, the lifestyle channel where we as enthusiasts aspire to enhance and elevate our olfactive sensory experiences through the understanding of the different aromas, facets, and nuances of scent, cigars, and wine. I'm your host, Chris. Welcome to today's experience. We're going to dive into this capsule selection and hit some very high notes in perfumery. I have quite a few fragrances here that I want to get across to you to let you know how overtly sensual leather can be in the fall and autumn wear. And for me, these are tried and true date night fragrances, as I stated in the prologue. I'm going to introduce you to them in a way that is similar to my channel, but I'm going to kind of go through them quickly to make sure that you guys get a notion of what it is I see in them, and not so much in depth as I do most of my content. I just want to get these out to you so you can see what it is, the sensual part of these leather fragrances, and what makes them luxe to me. So guys, first up on the list for this particular leather accords, I'm going to introduce you guys to a house. I'm going to put 2 fragrances in. Like I said, this is going to be an end cap style of fragrances where I want to introduce. So first off, B683 from the house of Marc Antoine Barbour is a phenomenal entry into the luxury essence of leather. Marc Antoine Barbour is a luxury couture house for fashion, and he enlisted one of the best perfumers in the game right now that we all know about, that's just dropping gem after gem. And Quentin Biche really put forward a great effort to make this first fragrance from the house a phenomenal one. It's a very luxurious entry. Got a heart of leather. It's got some saffron, some ambergris. It's really cool notes inside of it, contrasting with some really deep, rich wood notes. So this one here is one of those fragrances that I'm coming to find exist in my collection for one of the better reasons of wearing a very versatile option for fall that comes off sexy and appealing to everyone's nose, including the opposite sex who loves this particular scent in the air. I'm finding that the more I wear this particular scent, the more I enjoy it. It's that petrolic smell of leather, which I said leather is idealistic. So this is the petrolic smell, comes in with a little bit of violet smell. And that is very intriguing to me for this particular scent. It's a wonderful scent, wonderful accords come off of it. Sillage and projection are phenomenal in Marc Antoine Barbour's collection. And first on the list is Marc Antoine Barbour's B683. And it's an essential addition to anyone's fragrance collection when you're going to talk about leathery, woody fragrances, a little bit of spice, but more minerality. Very sexy fragrance. First up, B683, Marc Antoine Barbour. Next up on the list, ladies and gentlemen, we have another scent by the house of Marc Antoine Barbour. This is the sister or brother fragrance to B683. This is Ganymede. And Ganymede, one that I don't have to tell you guys much about. Ganymede is a treasure. It's one that I purchased from the hype, got into it, kind of got away from it, sold it off, and then ultimately after testing a few more of the vials that I got in, noticed that it was different than what I had thought. So maybe I got a different batch of some sort, but this one, loving the pepper spice in this one. This is what makes this one so sexy. Slightly metallic freshness to it, but it's ultimately a heart of leather and sandalwood with a little bit of ambergris. Very sexy. Some nutmeg, some oak moss is really captivating in this one as well. Patchouli, of course, because that's what Antoine Biche loves to use. Chili peppers, spices, sandalwood, black pepper, saffron. Sexy, 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 metallic, leathery fragrance. And like I stated before, the idealism of leather is all in the perfumer's artistry. And this one here is one of those sexy styles of leathery fragrances that has a metallic resonant feel about it. Very sexy. One that you won't find in many of the offshoot of, designer fragrances. This is one that very much so sexy. It does have a fragrance on the line that Quentin Biche did from Essential Perfumes called Bois Imperial. So if you're looking for a budget-friendly style that just is about 85 to 80% of what this is the fragrance that you can find, and you can go to that sister house or sister fragrance of Bois Imperial. But at the end of the day, the leather in this one is much, much better. That's the thing about this one that I come enthralled with. I like the freshness of the other. This one here is the leather accord. The leather accord in this one is just phenomenal. It smells beautiful. It comes off with the greatest amount of sillage or sillage, and it comes with projection. And that's the thing you want from this one, because that's what he is, perfumer, and that's the way he designs his fragrances. End of the day, amber, sandalwood, black pepper, ambergris, and saffron make a sexy, phenomenal leather-wearing fragrance. The second is a bookend for the leather fragrances. This is Marc-Antoine Barroir's second entry on this list. This is Ganymede. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, I have Clive Christian's C for Men. Clive Christian's C for Men is one of those fragrances that from the PRIVE collection that they came out with. And it's known for its opulence and depth. And it's one of those sexy styles of leathers. This is the raunchy style of leather, the very sexy, animalistic style of leather. This one here, rich leather. It baits you into this seductive calling that just comes off phenomenal. And I mean, it has these fruity accords that it opens up with, along with another leather saffron accord. Oud is in this one, some cedar wood, some beautiful, beautiful complex cedar wood that penetrates all the nostrils around you. The aroma is one that stands out in the world of high-end fragrances, and this is one that I truly, truly adore. It is one that has notes of bergamot and grapefruit that lead to the heart of a suede style of leather with that violet and saffron. So this that, like I stated, a little bit of the animalistic style of leather, but it dries down to sexy, ultimately sexy use of spices, woods, and leathers. It has an interesting note of lotus blossom or lotus accord. In this one, I can't remember which one it was. It was either lotus blossom or lotus accord. Very sexy, very sensual. It's very warm base of amber as well, so it makes this one of the best date night scents for September, October, November. And it's on this list, again, as a luxurious entry into leather fragrances for a reason, because it is a phenomenal, luxurious leather fragrance by the house of Clive Christian. Sexy. C for Men. Ladies and gentlemen, next up, we're going to continue about just bountifully down this yellow brick road of luxury. This is the scent of Cuir Majeste by the house of Armani PRIVE. I wish that I was one of the people who had the opportunity to get the larger 250 ml bottle. This is, man, the more it macerates. I know that there's a conflicting contingency of people who say fragrances don't macerate after they're bottled, and some people that do. For me, what I tend to call either maceration or maturation, it's when a fragrance has turned in the bottle for the better, and it's become more and more of a signature scent style for me. Now this one, when I got it in, the fruits were much more lively, much more bursting off the skin. To me now, the osmanthus, which smells of a bit of an apricot, the tobacco, the rose, the leather, the incense, all comes together now as even a more compelling, deep, rich, floral leather element style of fragrance. And it's just damn good, man. It's an intoxicating blend of all these things. Like I said, it opens up with a bright citrus note. It transitions to the heart with this deep leather and floral elements. It's rich in the base. Got a little bit of tonka bean smell in there too for that sweetness, with a little bit of amber. Vanilla is in this one as well. It almost smells like there's a resinous myrrh. Comes off because it's that heady style of smokiness this is in it. So it smells like this luxurious blend of myrrh, sweet myrrh, benzoin, sweet myrrh. And it's a fetish style of fragrance. Fetish for sure. It leaves a lasting impression on anyone that smells this particular scent on you. Once again, they do have some of these bottles available at Harrods. I think if you want one, you better snatch it up when you can. This is the 50 ml bottle, and this is Cuir Majeste, one of the best, beautiful, sensual styles of fragrances on the market when it comes to leather, and the way they use fruity osmanthus with the suede and incense and the rose. Just gorgeous, man. Just gorgeous. And once again, Armani PRIVE, Cuir Majeste. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Roja Parfums Fetish. This is a fragrance that just embodies sensuality and sophistication. Oak moss heavy, jasmine heavy, neroli heavy. This is one that has a lot of patchouli and a lot of violet leaf in this as well. The one that makes this the most compelling of all the fragrances in this one is its very harsh spices. Elemi and Sisters Labdanum make this ambery feel that includes the fantastic note of leather accords that Roja Dove loves to use. Lots and lots of castoreum and cinnamon as well. So this one here is that sexy, sexy, sexy. When you want to talk about, like I stated, the fetish for Armani PRIVEs, this one here takes fetishizing to a new level. This is super, it's this juxtaposition fragrance, and I'll say that as well. When I say super, super sexy, this one has a air about it that is much more sophisticated than you would think of the raunchy style of leather it is. It's so refined and so sophisticated that you would wear this with a business suit and come off just as compelling as a CEO as you would in wearing this particular scent in a date night scenario or even a bedroom scenario. It's sexy, it's floral, it's raunchy, it's, you know, it's all of the things that we love about Roja Parfums. It's evolving on the skin. It's just, like I said, the oak moss in this one is spicy with that cinnamon. It has a lot of castoreum. Everything about this one is sexy, sensual, date night ready, but also, like I said, the sophistication is there with this one. So if you are an upscale gentleman or want to dress in an upscale way, but still want to have that sensual evening afterwards, like a dinner date, then go home, a bedroom worthy, sexy, fetishize over this one. Let them get their nose on it. Trust me, for me, this one has been a stellar performer in date nights when it comes to like steak restaurants and stuff like that, because it cuts through the crowd, it cuts through the prevailing scent of all the food around you while still not being too intrusive or too ostentatious. And that's one thing I love about this one as well. Fetish by Roja Parfums is just a head turner. It's not for everyone. I'm compelled to say that with a lot of these fragrances, it's not for everyone, especially your younger adult male, because this is a male's fragrance. This is not a toyish fragrance for females. This is a very much so adult male fragrance. 25, you may not like it. 30, you might get into it. 35 and up, this is for you. This is the head turner. Once again, Roja Parfums Fetish, and this is the Eau de Parfum. It's a favorite of mine. It's a favorite, man. It's one. It's a favorite. Get your nose on it. Fetish. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, one of the best fragrances. I know that this house, man, has some phenomenal scent profiles on the market. One of the best for me testing is Regent Leather. This one here, as I stated each time with each of these fragrances almost, and I want to really make that a point because for me, like I said, these are addictive fragrances, but they also have a fantasy note, and leather is a fantasy note. Excuse me. For me, this is such a joyous fragrance to wear, man. This is a beautiful concoction of sweet, sticky labdanum with a lot of sweet, warm, sensual leather accords and saffron. It has a few more notes like incense and sandalwood, some patchouli, and of course this gorgeous, gorgeous vanilla that is non-joyful. It's what you want in a vanilla fragrance as a man. This is one that goes smoky. It's one that goes sweet, warm, and seductive, and not juvenile or playful, not feminine at all. It's a very sexy, to me, vanilla leather fragrance that is deep. It's complex. It provides some of the best complexity. It has a finish that lingers on the skin with projection and sillage that is just wonderful. It's bold. It's refined. It's a great choice for any fall evening wear, and it's just a great scent profile because it's rich. Like I said, it's a regal type of scent that has a lot of marrying of leather and floral accents, and that's one thing that I'm enjoying about this particular scent and have enjoyed and have continued to put this on my luxurious leather list for a reason, because it's so compelling to wear. And it even has a little bit of spiciness in it. But at the end of the day, man, this is, if I was to say the date night worthy, one of the best of date nights, and when I say that for even a 20 to 25 year old who wants to break into niche leather luxuries or leather luxury, This is the one I would say go for, man, because it's just that sweet tonality that captures young feminine noses. It has, like I said, the sweet nuance of a deep, rich, ambery style of lavender. The vanilla is in this, the sandalwood, a little bit of smoke, suede leather, saffron, and it is a banger. Get your nose on this one, man. This is one that I think it may be slept on. I don't hear anybody talking about it, but I provided you with enough information on this particular scent to let you know it's the real deal. It is one of those sexy, sweet, warm-based fragrances. It has even, I think, an oud note is into it, if I remember correctly. Sexy. Ladies and gentlemen, next up on the list, I got the newest addition to my favorite leather fragrances on the market right now. This is a concoction done by the house of Xerjoff within a celebrated collection to come out with Tony Iommi. This is Deified. This is the newest one from his collection. He is one who's been given a collection, not something that I think is a lot of people are saying flankers or it's going off the back of. To me, this is a totally different way they compose the fragrance, and it's not a flanker to me. It's more like a house, under house to me. So that's just my 2 cents on this. The way I feel about the fragrance and the way I feel about this one is I love it. It's a very rich blend of 2 fantasy notes. The fantasy idealized note of leather while coming across with a very realistic note of apple. And even though apple is a chord that you have to make to resemble that being an idealistic chord, it feels so authentic the way that this green apple smells to me. It's one, like if you walk through an apple orchard, it's exactly what you would smell. And it comes across playful while still being exotic and romantic. Every time I've worn this is like, I hate these type of comments because I don't want to make it sound like every time you wear it or anything like that, you're going to get a compliment, because that can't be the case. But I do find it phenomenal that a lot of fragrances that I wear in my collection, when I wear them, they are so intriguing. They have such a great sillage and projection that I always get someone saying how good it smells. Now, I know for many of us, it does not happen. And that's why I always say test whatever you want to buy, because for me, whatever reaction I get is not something I can guarantee you will get. But for me, the scent of Deified, it can be one that is off-putting to some, and I get that because it has this lacquered smell of woods and saffron and cinnamon. But when that lacquer smell goes off, it's subdued, it's sweet, it's mossy, it's musky, and ultimately it's a sexy, leather, luxurious fragrance that I love putting on, because man, it be turning some goddamn heads. Once again, one of the bookends on this particular luxury leather fragrance list is Deified. Leather, apple, papyrus, saffron, cinnamon, patchouli, rose, musk, sexy. Try it at your own will, man. Just find a sample. That's all I can tell you. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But try a sample, see what it does, because for me, it's a slap. Ladies and gentlemen, last on this list, like I said, I want to do bookends. I want to do double fragrances from 2 houses, and this here is the last on the fragrance list, and this is from the collaboration with Monkey Special. This is the collaboration between Tony Iommi and Xerjoff once again, and this is the first one into that foray of a collaboration. This is the scent that started it all to bring about that clamoring for what the next one would be, what the next one could be. Monkey Special is just that. It's a sweet, special fragrance. It's one that has leather, rum, patchouli, bergamot, and caramel. The sexiness of this one comes off like the sexiness of Regent leather. So it's one that has that playful, candy-like effect. It has some sweet tonality to it, some sweet, warm, cakey patchouli. And it has one of the best leathers that you can smell. The opening is so inviting. Then it just dries down to this sexy, cocooning, magical leather fragrance. Very luxurious. Cinnamon, Sisters Labdanum, geranium. The geranium is a little bit heady in the opening, but it dries down quite special. Passion fruit is a calling card for this one. So if you're a person that loves the scent of passion fruit or maracuja, this is a fragrance that really much so captures that essence beautifully. It's one that's not fleeting. It stays with the caramel and the leather with that rum accord, making the totality of this fragrance a patchouli, rum, leather, caramel, and maracuja. Sexy Australian cedarwood keeps it creamy in the base, and it's an enthralling fragrance that marries a sophistication with complexity and enticing sexuality and exoticism. It is gorgeous on the skin, man, and it smells much better on the skin. Off the paper, it gives a great profile, but off the skin, it really melds into the wearer, and it becomes a very sexual fragrance at the heart of it with the leathers and the rum, and then it transitions to that ambery candy-like base. Once again, Tony Iommi's Monkey Special was the first foray into this collaboration. They did a phenomenal job, and this is the last of the 2 bookends for this particular luxury leather list. Get your nose on it. Test always. Great scent. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the culmination of this list. This was a list that I wanted to put out luxury leather fragrances. I really wanted to talk to you guys about the way that the leather accord can be such a beautiful transitioning accord from the summertime to the fall and winter. It's very much so a great essence to have as a component to your wardrobe. So always make sure you got a leather fragrance on your list of wardrobe wearing, especially like for evening elegance and nights out. Just a banger, man. It's one that very much so entices the nostrils of those around you. For me, leather fragrances, like many in my collection, they tell a story. And when you connect that story to an emotion, you always have someone lingering around you and want to get back to you. And that's the thing about it. You want to connect the story, which is you, to emotion, which is that emotional connection you create within that conversation, that moment, and it always makes people come back to you. And it's one that I'm telling y'all, leather is one that does that. I'm a fan of it. I wear it all the time. It was going to be my scent of the day, but today I was choosing a setback and I chose Baby Cat. I know you guys are up on Baby Cat. Baby Cat is a very special, peppery, vanilla scent that's sexy. But if it wasn't for Baby Cat today, it would be a Thameen leather or the Tony Iommi Monkey Special. But I digress on that. Today, like I said, I want to talk to you guys about that. Oh yeah, if y'all want to know, today's wine of choice is going to be a classique Vouvray. Vouvray, if y'all on this and y'all know about my wine prowess, man, Vouvray is one I picked up out the wine cabinet today, and I'm going to enjoy this with a light chicken meal. Vouvray is one of those sprightly style of effervescent wines that has a little bit of a little mild, not even mild, I'll say medium, mild to medium acidity with great stone fruit taste, great bergamot, lime, and lemon feel to the wine. It's one that's robust enough to outlast many of the summery style. This is a Chenin Blanc, by the way. It has a very beautiful take on citrus and stone fruits while having acidity and a beautiful wood take like the oak of the barrel. And that's one I love about the classic taste of this Vouvray Chenin Blanc. It's very, very good tasting wine. One, like I said, this is when it got pulled out. We're going to set it on the table. Let it set it to room temperature for a minute, then enjoy the hell out of this wine, man. So once again, Vouvray is a great classic tasting Chenin Blanc. I'll show you the back label so you guys who are interested in those things, so you'll know what to buy if you're interested in buying what my recommendation is. I'll give a brief conversation about this one soon, because this is one I really want to dive deep into telling you guys about, because it's very intriguing tasting, and I love the way it goes with many different meals, or even just a chill, relaxed wine while smoking a Connecticut shade style of cigar, which is light on the palate, perfect for that time. So as always, until next time, if you guys found something entertaining or educational about this video, all I ever ask that you do, hit the like button and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Let me know how this touch of leather and luxury come off. And if you have any luxury leather fragrances in your collection that you adore, drop it below. Let everybody know in the community that these are out here for them to enjoy as well. And then until next time and until next video, peace.